Hello and welcome and good evening. And I'm going to put on my headphones.
It's 2 days straight of glamorous.
Oh, my mic wasn't on. Hello. Good evening and boo. Welcome to Let's Make a List on KPCA LP 103.3 FM and online at kpca.fm. Each week, we choose a ghostly topic related to movies, music, video games, books, or everlasting spirits. Make lists and discuss our picks. If you want to get involved, you can call in at any point during the ultra creepy show at 707-981-7577 or tweet us at Phil and Ariel if you dare. Ariel's pretty scared, you can tell.
That's the sound that I make when I'm terrified.
Uh-huh. All right, so guys, we got a really scary, exciting show for you. No time to waste, so I'm not going to waste any more time. So today we have a guest that is well known to our, thank you, Ariel, very friendly guest, just like Casper. Everything has to be Halloween and scary related. Scary related.
That's me.
Yeah, so Ariel, the co-host of Phil and Ariel's Mixtape, along with myself. And this is your third time or second time on this show? This is your second time officially, I think.
Second time
you were
officially.
on the pilot episode.
Yes, it was.
Yep. All right, so I have a lot to talk about, and we have a little less than an hour. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to music for the last hour. We are not going to have any more music. You heard the intro. That's it. But I might throw some sound effects in. We'll see. We'll see if it fits. I mean, I can't control that. I mean, they're all real. There you go. That's pretty good. Do you want to do that for the next 55 minutes?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm good.
I think that my throat would really be grateful for that treatment.
Speaking of treatment, we've got a lot of Halloween-related stuff to talk about. But first, I want to talk about something that Ariel doesn't have much interest in, but I'm still curious to see what she thinks. So, video games.
Mm-hmm.
Video games, it's a big time of the year for video games. A lot of times this month and next month come out pre-Christmas. A lot of big releases. Like there's a new South Park game that's big. New Wolfenstein game. These are things you've heard of. Assassin's Creed. You saw the movie with me.
I did.
Yep. A new Mario game.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. A few questions. These are all games that look fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
New Mario. I think almost everyone I've talked to who has played any kind of video games has experience with Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Do you what Mario games have you played? Do you think
Super
you played
Mario?
Super Mario?
Mm-hmm.
So wait. Super Mario Brothers?
Yes.
On Nintendo or on Game Boy or
Nintendo.
Okay, cool. And
the one where you pull the cartridge out and to make it work again when your game freezes.
So the NES probably. Yeah. Okay. That for me is just, was it fun, do you think?
I loved it.
Okay, cool. Because I think that's one of the few games, that and Tetris, that just kind of, I feel like no matter who plays them, if they're not a video game person, they just go, oh, this is simple and fun and colorful.
Yeah,
I like it.
It was fantastic. Yoshi, gold coins,
yeah,
jumping into stuff, or boop, 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 just totally like dying and failing on something.
So Yoshi, you played Disney. You played Mario World then too, because he's not in the first Mario or the third one or the second.
I have no idea about the genealogy of the games. All I know is that there was a map that showed you different parts of like a peninsula.
Okay, so that was Super Mario World. Pretty sure.
Okay.
They had Yoshi and had the map. Then so that was Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yep.
and
game.
it was really fun.
It is really fun.
Yeah, and that I was like, I might be addicted to video games.
Yeah,
because I would play it like once a month, and then I would go over to houses of people who actually really did play video games, and I'd be like, nope, that's not my jam.
You really got into we've talked about before the medieval Sims.
Oh my gosh.
That was when you were playing that for a couple of weeks. Just
now
like every
I got
day.
into that one because I had so many cheat codes that I was no longer a queen. I was a god. And boy, was it fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And I realized that I was going a little bit overboard by thinking about it when it wasn't on.
Oh no, that's
Like,
not overboard.
Obsessing about it.
That's what people play during video games. That's what we do.
That's why I nipped it in the bud, because I was like, if this is all my life is going to turn into, no, I've got to stop it while I'm ahead.
Oh, okay. I get that. I remember in like high school sitting in class just thinking about video games, because I like get home and before I do my homework stuff, I'd play video games. And I remember very specifically in math class in 8th grade, so it was middle school, and because that matters. And I had Madden football game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just every game is the same. You play football, and you have these guys that run around at the time very realistically.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sit there in class thinking about what plays I was going to do. Like, I'll first down, I'll do this little short pass to my running back, and they would just things like that. I would just escape into that world.
Yeah, and that's what books are for me.
Totally
Books and movies, and I already was so locked into my hermit life when I was a child that I had a sense of clarity for myself, and that I was like, I shouldn't add a third arm to this. There's no, this will not be good. I still need to be able to operate outside of my home. Yeah, and that's the story of video games.
Yeah, I get that with movies and books sometimes and shows.
And I look at video games and I go, ooh, I bet that I'd be super into that. But I think that one of the last times that I tried to play a game of yours was Nazi Zombies.
Oh yeah, well we just threw you in right in the middle. I think
what is that called?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
It was
and
Nazi Zombies. I think Stuart left the room and just like, here, Ariel, you play.
I could not handle being able to see all the way around myself.
That was way too much to put on your plate at once. that was you need. It was your first time playing a first-person shooter.
I like that it's like that there's a threshold that can be crossed by a lot. It's just like I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm dying. This is real.
You played Jeopardy with me on the Wii.
Yes, that is almost like not even a video game.
Yeah.
Like that's like 90s video game, as opposed to like fancy pantsy thousands video game.
Thousands. Turn off my ringer. All right. Cool. Yeah. So you did play Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And you've watched me play it, I'm sure, lots.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have.
Phil. I go, Ariel, look at this. Look at Phil. Look at me. I'm Phil. Look at this.
You talk about yourself in the third person regularly.
One more not Halloween related thing, and
Okay.
then we'll get to that. But still video games related.
I mean, how dare you?
Me.
But okay.
Speaking of Halloween, did you guys, anyone else hear that? Yep. So
The joy that it gives you.
I'm just happy it works every time too. Okay. So the Assassin's Creed game I was talking about. So you saw the movie. So it's an adventure kind of game where you go back and forth in time.
Right. Interesting premise.
Yep. And the new one is Ancient Egypt.
Ooh.
Thanks for holding that while I drink some water.
You're welcome.
And so it's a game where you can basically go anywhere. You run around and you unlock parts of the map. You can run around and you don't even have to do missions. You can just run around and climb things. What would be a place?
So it's just a parkour game.
Yeah, it actually very much is that
just
for a lot of it is. What would be a setting if you could have a game made that was run around, do whatever, and you have a story and stuff too, but basically just worried about the place and time? What would be a fun area for you to run around?
Come to
and
mind.
When?
Vesuvius.
Oh, okay.
So I'm totally blanking on the name of the city that's right underneath Pompeii. And there was Herculaneum is the other one I was thinking of. So Pompeii.
Oh, okay.
Just like the last days of Pompeii, like ruh-roh, gotta get out of here.
Oh, so
parkour. Or Atlantis.
Ooh.
A mythical place.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
When would the Atlantis would be? Would that be like
When would
the
the Atlantis
90s?
would be?
When would the Atlantis would be? 90s? 1990s?
Oh, that would be a bummer.
It would be like when Alanis Morissette was popular?
No. It would be
A different time?
when Atlantis was supposed to have existed.
All right, that's fair.
With all of their supposedly amazing technology. Whatever. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. For me, it would be modern day London, I think.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, all of England, or the whole world. But
I kind of like the idea of being able to just like rule an island.
I get that. There are lots of games where you can do that.
Just like a dark underworld
Yeah.
on an island.
There's an Assassin's Creed one, Black Flag, where it's like pirates and you go on a boat and you go to different islands.
Ooh.
You probably
A
watch me
boat?
play it. Yeah, you go on you have your own ship and you can go around to different areas, islands on your boat, and then you claim things, and it's pretty good. It's pretty great.
That's awesome.
Um,
You might be
Yeah.
swaying me, you know? I might like really be into video games now.
I think there's a lot about it you'd love.
Yep.
And I just don't know if you just have to, I think like you have to get past the learning curve. And for a lot of people like myself, my brothers, you played some when you were a kid, but we played video games so much as a kid that we just naturally, it's like when you learn language when you're a kid, it just is like, I assume when you learn multiple languages when you're grown up real young, it's not like, you don't think about how difficult it is to learn. You just learn those also. But now, like learning a language, I've tried many times and failed. I wonder if video gaming would be like that a little bit. Obviously not as difficult as learning a language, but I wonder if a part of it just isn't intuitive. It isn't intuitive?
Intuitive.
Thank you. I like how that's one of the parts of our relationship is me mispronouncing something, then looking at you and just saying it again and waiting for you to correct
But
me.
looking at me like very suspiciously. Like, why'd you make me say that? Why'd you tell me that was the word?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm curious. Okay, and one more video game question, but this is bringing us into the scary time.
Uh-oh.
So I was thinking of scary video games. I didn't have that as part of our list. Our list, we're going to go over scariest things for a lot of different
Oh, I can
things.
answer scariest video game.
Oh, really?
Super Mario when you go into the haunted part.
Oh, that's pretty good. And the ghost, let's see if, pop quiz, let's see if you remember this. What's special about the ghosts? What is something about them that makes them different than other enemies in the game? Don't remember. It's fine. First of all, they fly, but when you're looking at them, they don't come towards you. But when you look away, you look the other direction, they're coming towards you.
Ooh,
So
that's
it's
right.
like,
yeah, it's been like a good solid 15 years since I played that game. More than.
I just got a text from my mom. She says it is more difficult learning video games later. So,
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mom.
Anonymous caller.
Yeah. I can just call anonymous callers Mom. If it's a man, then Dad. So my video game for scariest is Outlast. The one you've watched me play it some, where you just try to escape.
Where you
from
actually kind of like creeped
this
yourself out at
hospital.
night.
Oh, totally did.
Yeah.
I had to play it in small chunks. For you, do you think it would be more difficult for you, more scary to watch watching a scary movies or playing scary video games? Because playing scary video games, you feel like you have some control, but at the same time, you might be more immersive, so you feel more like you're there.
Playing the video games, like with a movie, you know that there's a specific time limit, so that there has to be a certain arc structure,
Right.
a certain story structure. So you can at least like grab onto that and know that it's either going to be like really bad at the end, or it's just going to be like mildly horrible. Whereas a game, I have no idea what the end result is supposed to be, because I have no idea what the storyline is. I just know that apparently I want the pants scared off of me, and I'm like going to invest in that time. And that time could be like 40 hours. And that does not appeal to me even remotely.
Oh, okay. Oh, that answers my question. I think it's more scary for me in video games. Even though, I think having some responsibility makes it scarier. It's like if I don't do this,
alive.
if
We're
I
both
don't
doing
do
like
this,
giant rabbit ears right now for quotes, like aggressively at the microphone. Yeah.
But Outlast was a game where you had to escape basically this old mental institution. Or no, it was like it
Yeah, it was an asylum.
Yeah, thank you. And it was like, if I don't get the guy out of here, he's not going to get out. So it had that feeling of like, it's my responsibility to do it.
Yeah, and then they have this little subtle, it's not like actually hugely subtle, but you wouldn't necessarily think about it unless you were a game developer, to add like breathing.
Yeah.
And not just breathing, but breathing patterns that change along with your anxiety level.
Yeah.
So that you're
totally
not
works.
really listening to it after a certain point because you're hearing the music, you're hearing the threatening weird things that the bad guys are saying.
Yeah.
And in the background, there's just like really scared breathing.
Yep.
And then you realize that you're like, I'm brushing my teeth and Phil's
Yeah.
playing in the living room. Why am I hyperventilating? It's because of that subtle trick.
Yep.
That's very, very good.
And I would want to freak myself out, so I'd only play at night pretty much. But then at the same time, I would be like, play at night, but I'll have the whole light on. Or I will...
I like you say that like, but I'll have the whole light on.
Every few minutes, I'll talk to one of the cats to help me relax.
Not like you have any choice.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Not list time yet, though.
Oh.
A couple more things. First, have you seen that there's a movie coming out, the trailer's out, about the Winchester Mystery House?
What?
Yep, and it's starring Helen Mirren as
I
Miss
saw
Winchester.
that there was a scary movie with Helen Mirren
and
I
Jason
had
Clarke.
No idea.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
it
a
was.
Winchester Mystery House, and it's about being in the house, and I don't know all details, but I watched the trailer. Looks like it could be good.
Whoa.
So that brings me to this, because we've been to the Winchester Mystery House, taken the tour.
Yep.
It's really cool.
It's cool
It's
just
creepy.
for the architecture.
Yeah.
And then it's even cooler because unfortunately it was someone who either was in touch with spirits or was losing it for mental illness and loneliness.
Yeah. Guilt. I think
And a
guilt
lot of
was
guilt.
was a very possible reason for
Oh
it.
yeah, on either side of that line.
Yeah.
Guilt was all the reason.
So trying to when I was watching the trailer, I was thinking, this is one of the scariest places I've been, but not the scariest. Winchester Mystery House. I'm trying to think of the scariest places you've been to when it comes to supernatural related stuff. Like the example I gave you earlier, it's not, you can't be like, oh, my classroom in English in 4th grade because I did give a presentation. Not like that.
Nope, I have an answer.
All right, cool. I have a list of places too. I think my answer is the same as yours, but we'll find out.
Interesting that you would say that
But
and be so wrong.
Yeah. Okay. I think mine is not the same as yours. But I have a list. So after you say yours, I want to go over some of the other ones quickly. So what were you thinking were the scariest or scariest is places?
For me,
Yeah.
it I forgot to check if this is the actual name of it.
Okay. You can describe it.
It's I want to say the QE2, the Queen Elizabeth II, but I'm not sure that that's what it is. It's whatever ship lives in Long Beach.
Is it Queen Mary?
The Queen Mary.
Yep.
Yeah, the
I
one
had
that's
that down here for you.
Thank you.
Because I know you went to a
got
wedding
it.
there.
Yeah,
And you went on the
it's
ghost
the Queen
tour.
Mary because that, first of all, is the same. It has the same plans as the Titanic, so like that's really cool historically. And it was a beautiful, beautiful ship, but like it has a little bit of history, and because it was an operational ship, and they had ghost tours, and my birth mother and I went on one, and I am a screamer when it comes to stuff. And that I think was the first time that I discovered that, because before then when I was a kid I was like, oh, I can't scream. It's not a note that I hit. And then went hunting some ghosts, and boy oh boy, everybody else, even if they had been freaked out at the beginning, were not freaked out by like 5 minutes in, because I was losing it.
Who on the tour was it? You and your mom, and like was
Birth
Andrea?
Mom. Oh, my mom
your mom
wasn't
was there.
She wasn't there. It was just me and Andrea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was visiting, and we just were like, let's go do this thing because the kids are in school, and let's go hang out. And so we,
Wait, was that the same time as the wedding?
No, I think.
Oh, okay. I always thought it was the same trip.
I think that it was like probably like a year after.
Okay,
or
never
2
mind
years
then.
after.
So yeah.
Yeah. That would be amazing. to be like scare the pants off of yourself and then go get married in that
Yeah.
location. And Andrea would be twisted enough to do that.
Yeah.
Not me though. I'd be like, oh no, I was already on that boat. I'll be in the parking lot. Have fun. But they did a really good job where you could go through the inner workings of the ship, where if you're just like a guest staying there or having an event, you can't go because the liability would be crazy. Because there's like, you know, little walkways and gigantic doors that like actually cut somebody in half once, and that's one of the ghosts that they advertised, which was just a hologram floating around.
Right.
And
So-
it's and like, yeah, it's still and there was a pool. This was the worst one.
yeah.
And also the best one. Good job to the people who designed this. So there was a pool that had no water, and a little girl was meant to have drowned. And these are all things that it's like, yeah, of course, this could totally have happened. I'm not going to look it up, but, you know, why verify anything? But this is something that's reasonable. And you walk past the pool, and they had a black light somewhere that you couldn't see.
Oh, yeah. You told me about that.
Above you. And they had reactive paint painted as footsteps that would walk next to you or like just in front of you, depending on where you were in the group. And it's just these little child-sized footsteps.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That would just glow. And I'm sorry, but when you add children to anything, you can make it creepy in a second. A little kid standing at the end of a hallway. A kid standing over you, waking you up at night just to say, hey, I have to go to the bathroom, could be terrifying. Swings, awful. Like playgrounds with no children on them.
Yeah.
Or even just one kid that won't look at you because they don't have a face, they have a hornet's nest.
A little kid with no adult.
Yeah, and it's just dressed up in Victorian clothing. The worst. And so that was creepy.
Nice.
It was very creepy. And I think that what added to the creepiness is kind of what adds to the creepiness of the Winchester Mystery House, which is like a gravitas and like a stateliness, because it's a very beautiful work of man-made art. And like it's awful too. And that's the novel that I wrote for you just now.
I liked it. Thank you. I thought you might say that, or the slaughterhouse in
That was also
Antioch.
on my
I'm not going to
list.
give the specifics because parts of it there's a public road, but then there are parts of it are private land. But
Right. And it's not actually. I won't say that because that will give a little bit too much information.
Okay. But there's a road that has a bunch of old abandoned creepy stuff on it, places, and there are all these different stories and stuff about it.
And you have a good one.
And I've gone there with Ariel and with friends another time at night, in the middle of the night. It is terrifying. I bet you can find out about it online. Other things that I'd quickly go through that we've been to, one of us has been to. New Orleans, we took a ghost tour.
Ooh.
New Orleans had a bunch of old cool places.
Yeah.
There's one building that's known as like one of the most haunted.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go in because I think it's a private residence. I think Nicolas Cage owned it at some point. But
Was that the LaLaurie?
that sounds right.
Yeah. That place sounds awful.
Yeah. But New Orleans has a bunch of cool haunted stuff. Speaking of haunted, that was a bad example of haunted, but
I also have
Yeah.
two other answers to
all right,
that.
cool. All right, cool. Yeah, do you want me to go? I can go through these real quick, and then I want to hear yours. Alcatraz. Alcatraz is creepy, but for me, it's more depressing than scary.
The only part that was scary was the basement, which was
Scary.
the
yeah.
foundation where what used to be the Civil War barracks.
Yeah.
That part was
Yep.
scary.
Yep. In San Diego's a house called the Whaley House, which they advertise it. There are a lot of places obviously advertised as the most haunted place in the country, but that's one that is another one that people consider really haunted. I went there with a few friends in San Diego, but it's like daytime, and it's kind of near like a kind of party-ish area. When I say party, I mean like it's lively and there are a lot of people out.
It's really scary.
Yeah, and they have stories and
Red
Yeah, it's
Solo
fun.
cups everywhere.
yeah. And when we were in Boston, a bunch of small cemeteries that were really creepy.
Mm-hmm.
In Boston, just with all the old roads and everything, worked really well. The Phoenix Theater right down the street, known as being haunted. It is an awesome place. I'm totally comfortable there. I could see being there alone at night would be really creepy. There's actually a documentary about haunted Sonoma County that
it's a good fun
and
watch.
they a bunch of different places they talk about, and they have a section about the Phoenix, and Tom Gaffey, the person who runs it, he speaks about it. It's really, really interesting. I like it a lot. I don't know if I believe in ghosts. I don't think I do, but then I watch something scary with ghosts and I go, I'm getting scared. So at least I'm not sure that they don't exist. All right. Sorry. What are your other places?
Why be sorry?
I don't know. I'm talking.
Okay. My other two places, my grandmother's guest bathroom when I was a kid, because it reminded me of The Shining, because she didn't have just like regular old, like, shower curtain. She had like actual curtain that was like tassels and like draped like it was over giant bay windows, like, which was really weird. So it made the bathtub and the shower really dark. And so like when you walked past it, that was the darkest part of the room. And then the door was always open and the toilet would sit right behind the door. So it was like a perfect person-sized area where someone could just stand behind the door and like watch you through that little crack. And I would like run past that door every time. Super creepy. And then my last answer to that is a childhood friend's grandmother's room, which was the first room that you passed when you entered the house. And she was this older, tiny little woman who probably had severe dementia and like, or Alzheimer's or something like that. And she was essentially mute. Like, I don't think that she really talked very often. And her whole room looked like a Victorian child's room, so that it had porcelain dolls all over the place. And sometimes she'd get up and just walk around silently. So you'd like look up and she'd be right next to you. And that would just scare the eyebrows off my face. It was terrifying. And I'm sure that she was a very sweet woman, but it was just like, I didn't, okay. Hello. Okay, I gotta back away now. It was just very scary. Plus dolls.
Would you try to scare her before she scares you?
Yeah, totally.
To nip it in the butt?
Yeah, just yell everywhere. Yeah.
Nice, good answers. Yeah, mine were, I couldn't think of any real specific non-landmark answers. But, right. All right, I put a lot on the list of stuff to do, but I kind of want to go through all of it, so I'll try to go quickly. All right, here, quick trivia game.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the short, it's like 1 or 2 sentences, a plot summary of an adult, not like porn, but an adult, like R-rated or unrated horror movie.
Okay.
Most of them rate R. It's either the plot to one of those movies or an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, God.
And these are the IMDb plot summaries. So I'm going to read it to you. You have to tell me if it's an R-rated or unrated movie, or Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay.
One of those two things.
Okay.
And if you can say the name of the movie or the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, bonus points.
I doubt that I'll be able to
try
say
go
the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode.
Yeah, I know that. But okay. I thought maybe it'd be fun if you want
I'll
to.
make up episode names.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Some new neighbors move into a neighborhood. They are originally from Eastern Europe, wear black, collect blood, and are only active at night.
A movie?
Nope.
It's an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, and it's called My Freaky Neighbors.
The Tale of the Nightly Neighbors.
Nightly
Neighbors. A group of camp counselors are stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a summer camp, which years before was the site of a child's drowning.
Friday the 13th.
Good job.
Friday
Nice.
the 4th.
Nice. A girl is trapped inside her family's lakeside retreat and become unable to contact the outside world as supernatural forces haunt the house with mysterious energy and consequences.
Is that Lake Mungo?
No. It's a good guess. Silent House.
Okay. I was like, there's a body of water.
It's pretty good. How Ross, a mischievous kid, goes to the mall where his old habits sometimes get the best of him.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Yep.
It's called My Ventriloquist Dummy.
The Tale of the Pinball Wizard.
Oh my god.
A teenager who's injured in a car crash buys a potion from a magic shop to become more popular.
Are you afraid of the
Yep.
dark? I'm going to be so cool, Betsy.
The Tale of the Dark Dragon.
Okay.
The population of a small town disappears and is replaced by aliens that chase human flesh for their intergalactic fast food chain.
What? What? Intergalactic food chain. That makes me want to say, Are You Afraid of the Dark? But I'm really worried that that's a full movie.
It's a movie.
Wait. The creepy clowns from Clowns.
No, that's a good guess. Though. Not Creepy Clowns from Outer Space. Creepy Clowns from Clowns. They're creepy clowns. Their planet's probably called Clowns, so it should be called Creepy Clowns from Clowns. That is Bad Taste, movie by Peter Jackson.
Oh, I've never seen that.
I think that's the unrated one on here. I think all the other movies are rated R.
Yeah, I'm cool leaving it unseen by my eyes.
It's a campy, it's a comedy mostly. A babysitter shows a boy who loves TV that books are just as exciting.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And that's supposed to be horrifying? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
What does she show him?
Do you want to know do you want to guess the name of the episode?
I feel like none of my answers are PG. How to Read, Bobby.
The Tale of the Bookish Babysitter. That seems like it was definitely written by a parent that was just tired of their kids watching TV.
That feels so much too like a joke that you could connect to everything.
A few more.
Okay.
Angela Baker, a traumatized and very shy young girl, is sent to summer camp with her cousin. Shortly after her arrival, anyone with sinister or less than honorable intentions gets their comeuppance.
Sleepaway Camp.
Good job. Nice. A loving father finds a clown suit for his son's birthday party only to realize that it's cursed.
Isn't this the one where you watched it and you talked about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just called Clown?
Yep. Good job. Nicely done. A bullied young boy befriends a young female vampire who lives in secrecy with her guardian. Nice.
Also known as Let the Right One In.
This one's Let Me In, though. Nice. Two girls go to an attic where one of them tries on a uniform that belonged to a dead relative where her spirit lives on.
Ugh. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yep.
Called... This is why I only buy from Forever 21.
The Tale of the Hungry Hounds. A girl was killed in a fire several years ago while trying to stop a ghost. In the present day, two boys move in and discover the secret of the house's past.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yep.
Called Burning Up.
The Tale of the Quicksilver. You got most of them. You didn't get any of the Afraid of the Dark episode names,
giveaway
obviously.
About Are You Afraid of the Dark is two boys.
Yeah.
This young girl,
Yeah.
a teenager.
I didn't want to make it too tough. I wanted it to also not be
Considering
tricky, but
PNA's mixtape, that trivia does not go well.
But that was fun. I like some of them. The bookish babysitter.
Mm-hmm. It's the scariest one.
There was like the phone police, I think, where kids would make prank phone calls and then they get arrested. They get put into a prison because they were
These are
abusing
just
the phone call.
moralistic tales
Yeah.
about how to stop annoying the crap out of your parents.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I think we should get to the list.
Okay.
And then I've got another thing after if we have time.
Yay.
All right. Let's start with book.
Okay.
Okay, now we have 5 things: book, amusement park ride, album cover, TV show, and movie. We're going to go through one by one and say the scariest for us for each one. Book. What's your scariest book?
My scariest book is called Grange House by Sarah Blake, and I'm going to read you a product description off of Amazon.
Ooh, sounds good.
Maisie Thomas spends every summer at Grange House, a hotel on the coast of Maine ruled by the elegant Miss Grange. In 1896, when Maisie is 17, her visit marks a turning point. On the morning after her arrival, local fishermen make a gruesome discovery: drowned lovers found clasped in each other's arms. It's only the first in a series of events that casts a that casts a shadow over Maisie's summer as she considers the attentions of two very different young men. Maisie also falls under the gaze of Miss Grange, who begins to tell her disturbing stories of her past. And that's the door that opens to family secrets.
Sorry
and
to interrupt
it's
you.
dark. It's weird and it's gothic. And I remember that I read it the end of my teens, I think. And there was a little while where I couldn't look directly at the book.
Was it one where did you go like, I have to finish it, I have to see how it ends, so you read it real fast? Or was it one where you kept going back to it and reading it in small parts?
No, I just read it.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, it's creeping me out.
Have you read anything else from that author?
No. So it was just like this random book where I was telling you earlier, it felt like I got like a publicity copy somehow because it didn't exist anywhere. And it was still when the internet. So it was probably actually before my late teens, before the internet is what it is now, where it felt very impenetrable if you weren't from a family who actually worked with computers. Right. And so like there wasn't like a website for the author. There wasn't really any information about it. And so I was like, is this the only copy? And do I have it? I can't give it away because it's haunted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's a good book.
Nice.
And that's
I like that there's the story around it that makes it creepier.
That's going to be everything.
Nice. I like it. My book one isn't. I don't get scared by books very often at all. I don't read nearly as much as you, but also I just can't think of any where it actually like freaked me out. Helter Skelter is the one that made me definitely the most uncomfortable and creeped out. But it wasn't like I was scared to go to bed or anything like that. Right. It was, this is uncomfortable. I'm kind of scared that I'm enjoying reading this. It kind of makes me go like, why am I liking this? And then you start to figure out it's not that I like to hear about the Manson family and all these crazy murders. I like to hear about how the investigation went and how the attorney, Vincent Bugliosi, who my favorite author,
it's just like the spirit animal of every good thing. Yeah,
he's just he work ethic that's insane. Like my dad is just like, he's able to just do it. But actually he's written a bunch of books. I recommend all of them. The only one I didn't read, I haven't read his fiction books. I've read all his nonfiction. They are amazing. And I think it's just I'm going to read it again sometime soon because it was so entertaining, but it's so creepy. That's all. I don't think I've ever had a book that made it so I was actually like freaked out in a Halloween kind of way.
Humble brag.
Thank you. Because I don't think my imagination is that strong, maybe. I don't know.
No, you've got a strong imagination. You've got a dark imagination.
I do have horrible nightmares.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's do movie next.
Okay.
For me, I'll go first this time. Obvious, Blair Witch.
Yep.
For me. Was that you too?
Tie.
It hits every... For a scary movie, for me, it's everything. It doesn't really show you what's going on. I think the acting is great. The people act real.
Yeah.
It feels real. Like there's a reason that the camera's there, obviously. And then...
and it feels like it doesn't need to rely on like a monster.
Right.
It's just like, oh no, this is a person. And there's like maybe some sort of mystical reason why that person is still there, but that's not really the focus. It's just like, this is a person doing weird.
It's like, it could be that. Yeah.
And like, who knows? There's no explanation. There's no real reason. It's just like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
But
it could be that, it could be the place is haunted. It could be people going after him. It could be a ghost. Could be a witch.
Yeah, it could be a witch.
It could be people
for like
going crazy.
Years. Yeah,
it could be so many things, and all of them are creepy. And if you're whatever your biggest fears are, I feel like you're scared of getting lost somewhere. You're scared of ghosts. You're scared of being killed. All that stuff.
You're scared of things that won't look at you.
Yeah.
People that won't look at you.
You're scared of not knowing what's going on.
Back and forth in a corner.
For me, that is just the.
It hits it all.
It's one of those movies that when people say, "Oh, it's not scary," I actually get bothered.
Yeah, I'm
a little
like,
bit.
you're
I'm like,
lying.
Yeah.
You're a lying liar and a lying face. Not telling the truth, because that thing is so scary. And that was also, I saw it before I understood that there were good or bad movies, before like I really understood that people's calling was to be a director, so that it was like an art form that people actually put a lot of effort into. I just, you know, because when you're a kid, it's just like a movie's a movie.
Yeah.
All movies are great. And I saw that one and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
This must be real. Because like, what individual could be so dark that they could come up with something that really breaks the fourth wall by making you think that it's real?
Yep.
They live out there. They're called directors and art students.
And that was 20 years ago, and it basically spawned a genre of film.
Yeah, it
that
did.
is still being made.
And I feel like they're all trying to top that, and you can't.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Album cover. This one was a weird kind of tough one. I was thinking something music related because I couldn't think of any songs that actually freaked me out. Album covers. There are a couple that creeped me out.
One.
All right, what
comes
is it?
directly to mind. The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely
That's a
Hearts
good
Club
choice.
Band. Because as a kid, I was like, what? It looks like they've all been taxidermied or dipped in wax. Like it's the wax figure versions
Yeah.
of all of them. And it's really weird. And there's like a lot of cool stuff in it that I can definitely appreciate, but it's just so weird.
And all the Paul is dead stuff that's kind of around it, which is like I think that's all just a big
and I didn't know about that until later.
But it just adds to that because then people have really studied all the
and it's just like a weird
everything.
Point.
Yep, and
time.
There's a lot of pictures, and it's also like, why is that person on there? What's that person doing? Why are they so creepy looking? What's with in the front the weird?
And they just look so
and
frozen.
Yep,
and the Beatles were so alive and everything else, and so it was just like this really weird. Why is this happening?
Yeah, that's a good answer. I didn't think of that. What
are yours?
Okay, one that is one I don't have. The Country Bear movie soundtrack. Or Country Bears movie that was based on the Country Bear Jamboree. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen the movie. I've seen the trailer. Disney movie. It's people dressed as bears, and it's terrifying.
Which is my favorite fact about you.
Yeah, the Country Bear Jamboree freaked me out when I was young. Like, I still liked it, but you go in there and the eyes and everything. It creeped me out. It just was creepy.
I just love that as a kid, it was just specific people trying to be animals.
Yeah.
No. And like that would never have occurred to me.
Or live action things where it's like animated, like the Yogi Bear movie. No big deal. I'm tough enough for that. But when you have things like where the people dressed in costumes, like Harry and the Hendersons, that's really creepy. Because you see their eyes, and if you see their mouth at all, it's really weird.
Does Chewbacca bother you?
No. Chewbacca doesn't seem like it just seems like an alien. It doesn't seem like a specific kind of animal, so it doesn't freak me out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, but for some reason it doesn't.
No.
And then Marilyn Manson's Portrait of an American Family. I'll have to load it up so I can show you. But that one I think is supposed to be creepy. And that was when I first heard about Marilyn Manson. It was my brothers liked the band, and I thought their music was a little creepy. And then, just a second, internet. And then I saw this cover, and it was the first thing I thought of. I mean, whenever I would think of Marilyn Manson, I think of this cover. And
I don't like it.
yeah, it's like these dolls, like a family, and it just looks horrifying.
You take dolls and do anything with dolls, and it just ruins everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's supposed to be creepy and weird, but I don't know, weird, but creepy. And it worked for me. It was one of those where that album now, whenever I listen to it, I like the album, but I always think of that picture. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we've got 15 minutes. We can do this. Got a couple more here, and then I have one more game I want to play. TV show.
Okay.
This one was another one where I was thinking about it. There aren't many for me at all. You went first last time, right? So I'll go first this time. I was thinking like X-Files maybe. I'm sure there were some as a kid I saw like in the middle of the night and be like, oh, that was creepy. Oh, that's creepy with the one with like carnival. And then there's anything whenever you see someone get abducted by aliens. It creeped me some when I was young. But Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm-hmm.
For me, as a kid, it was made for kids. Like we were saying, the phone police one
The opening
was weird.
intro.
The opening intro is
enough.
still really creepy.
Yep, it's enough.
And there were some episodes, there's one with a clown. Like this kid was haunted by a clown, and you go home, and the clown would like follow him there.
Mm-hmm.
Really creepy. And I'm sure now watching it, it'd be like, eh. The intro is still creepy. But
I agree with you. It might be for everything except for that episode with the ventriloquist dummy, because those are not okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you do that, you're very skilled, and congratulations, but not okay.
Yep.
Those things are messed up.
So yeah, I think a kid's show is the scariest show for me.
I agree with you.
I've watched bits of American Horror Story, and that's fine.
I cheated on that so that I could watch it. And so cool. It gave me it startled me, but it didn't scar me.
I didn't watch it. I haven't watched enough to really make a judgment.
It's a good show. I think you would like it. For me, X-Files.
Okay.
It was really good. This is what I wrote. It was really good at being creepy and moody. So I'd wonder if I got up in the middle of the night for a glass of water, if 1,000 tiny aliens might shuffle past my legs, and the shuffle, skittering kind of thing makes it even worse. And then the whole conspiracy fallout that expands beyond that is just, it's awful because it's just scary on a few different levels of oh, there's weird aliens and everybody knows, but nobody's going to talk to you about it. And so, yeah.
Are you scared by alien stuff, like alien abduction movies?
That doesn't scare me. It's just the way that they would shoot that is that you can't really see what it is. That's what's scary. Is the creep factor is effective. Yeah, and so it's really just the storytelling.
Yep.
It's scary.
I get that. I was just thinking about it when I was a kid. I think watching movies and shows, whenever they said based on actual events, I would be it might not be actually based on that, but people wouldn't just lie.
Yeah.
So it's got to be people think this happened.
Yeah.
So things like that, Fire in the Sky, that movie, freaked me out because I was I don't know if it's actually happened, but this person thinks it happened. They made a movie. So they're not, I would be they're not going to lie about something this big and spend all this money on it. But who knows? Who knows? Nice. Amusement park ride.
Okay.
All right. I had a few. This is kind of a dumb answer, but whatever.
No answer is a dumb answer.
The Mickey Fun Wheel, Ferris wheel in California Adventure.
See, that's honest. That's an honest scary thing. That's not that's I am unhappy right now.
Yeah, for me,
I'm scared for my life.
Sorry, I went first again.
No, this is your show.
Still means I can be polite. That first time I think I went on that was with my mom and my brother Stuart, and I was like, I can do it. Then we started going up. It's nope, I had to close my eyes and just hold on. And then Stuart, because he's my older brother, not thinking that he was actually traumatizing me, just started saying oh, let's shake it, or oh, that'd be crazy if it broke, things like that. I was so scared, and I had to just be Stuart, seriously, shut up. I know you're not trying to bother me, but you are really bothering me. It was so scary being up there. Then last time I went on, I was this is kind of creepy. It's kind of scary. But for me, I was so scared of heights.
Yeah, I never used to be afraid of heights. And then I don't know if it's something that changed in my balance or if it's just something that changed in my mind where now I overanalyze everything. But I used to be totally cool flying. I used to be okay with heights. I used to do that stuff. Oh, yeah. Every summer I would climb trees really high and jump out of them. Not with no equipment. There was equipment. And that was really fun and it was great. But then all of a sudden just a flip switched and it was just I can't be up this high.
Yep.
I can't do it without thinking about nuts and bolts and pressure and how many times this thing gets used and elements and all this stuff and just going whoa, this is going to be the turn. Yep. This is the one. And so I agree that one's rough. My answer is in the same location, but a different ride.
Is it Screamin'?
No.
Soarin'?
Mm-mm.
What ride is it?
The Tower of Terror, which is aptly named because they yank you around like a rag doll. And you think, and I will never call it what it is now. It's always going to be the Tower of Terror. And
it's not in the same spot anymore, though.
I don't care.
It's in Disney World now. They don't have it at Disneyland anymore.
I know, but I'm always going to call what it is now the Tower of Terror.
All right, cool. Sorry, please continue. That was scary.
What
yeah,
I'm saying.
That,
no,
that was
like you think, like, oh, okay, they've tossed me around enough. We're going down. No, then you go up, and they drop you 25 more times. And again, like how I said with the Queen Mary, the other people weren't scared after I was exhibiting how awful it was for me. There's a photo of us that was taken. I don't think that we actually bought it, but you know how you go on a ride and you get off and you can see your face on the screen. And you can buy that novelty photo if you want to. There's one where the people on our car were really like, oh my God, I can't. Like, they were just like, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. And they were screaming so loud at the very beginning. And by the end, which is kind of where they take the photo, you can't even see my face because I'm just bent in half, but you can see my white knuckles and my hair standing straight up. And everybody around us is laughing, and you're looking at me to check and see if I'm okay in the middle of a drop.
That's for me, the build-up is so good. The line and then the little movie they show.
Yeah, everything was very effective.
I get very nervous, and it's almost kind of a relief when I'm on the ride because like, oh,
I wish that I had that. No.
It's scary for me, but it's kind of just like, okay.
I think that one time we went and we did like we rode it like 3 times. The second time was great because I was like, it's fine. And then the third time came around and I was like, I'm a liar. It's over.
Cool. So that's our list. We've got like 8 minutes. Hope I didn't rush through that too fast.
No.
Cool. Splash Mountain was a second. It used to freak me out, that drop. I still get nervous for it.
I thought you were going to say the animatronics.
Oh no, they were nice and comforting on that, right?
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean, the animatronics on that.
Those are creepy.
My entire life, I've been like, this ride's going to break down, and I'm going to look behind us, and there will be no boats. There will just be animatronic puppets walking slowly through the water.
I was just scared they're just going to make eye contact and keep it.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of rides I won't go on because I'm too scared. So, like at the carnival. Most of them, but the zipper, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Where it goes around. It's that was a good description. So I have one last thing. We have a little bit of time. I want to see if we can do this real quick. It's kind of like a Mad Libs style scary story.
Okay.
So quickly, I'm going to give you the kind of word to give me, and then I'm going to, if we have time, I'm going to read the story.
Okay.
I need a person's name.
Paul.
All right. A number.
3.
All right. Good and fast. A town. Any real or made up?
Vacaville.
Adjective. Description.
Shiny.
Nice. A kind of room.
Small.
Oh, sorry. I meant like a type of
bedroom.
There we go. Thank you. Just a second. All right. Sorry, this is good radio. Another number.
7.
Good number. Something you'd yell out.
Ah.
Thank you. Almost a verb ending in ing.
Running.
Remember, go ahead. Keep trying to make. I forgot to say. Try to come up with the scariest words you can.
Oh, screaming.
Screaming?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Adjective.
Bloody.
Ooh. This is exciting right now. We're getting there. Another name.
Jonas.
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 All right. I'm typing. Another number.
13.
Adjective.
Broken.
Okay, we're getting close. 2 more adjectives.
Dark.
Dark is 1.
Sharp.
We're so close. Type of place.
Graveyard.
Ooh. This is so not going to be worth this. Verb ending in ing.
Bleeding.
Another number.
17.
17. Noun.
Boot.
Boot. Scary. Body part.
Arm.
Arm. Adjective.
Creaking.
Creaking.
Mm-hmm. Or creaky.
Creaky. Type of monster.
Shark.
Ooh. Anything. Just anything.
Platypus.
That's the anything?
Yeah.
I just wrote my own name down. We're so close, guys.
Philippus.
I keep saying we're so close. Obviously, we're not. Emotion. Type of emotion.
Scared.
All right. Here we go, guys. I hope you guys have a light on.
Here we go.
All right, I have to give us some ambiance. Scary ambiance, because this is going to be scary. Where did I put that? Here we go. All right. This is a scary story. Paul, a 3-year-old teenager in Vacaville, California, wanted to go to his friend's party on the night of Halloween, but his shiny parents told him he had to clean up the bedroom before he was allowed to leave the house. Reluctantly, Paul grabbed the family's cleaning supplies and headed into the bedroom. As soon as he entered, the door slammed shut and the lights turned off. Paul screamed out, "Mom! Ah!" He waited 7 minutes for a response, but there was nothing but silence. Now he was starting to worry, as he could feel the sweat screaming down his face. Suddenly, he heard a bloody-sounding voice from across the room. "You don't belong here. This is my home," it whispered. "Who's there? Is that you, Jonas? This isn't funny," Paul said. "I told you to leave," it said, now noticeably louder. "If you don't leave by the time I count to 13, then I will haunt you for the rest of your broken life." Now terrified,
Rude.
Paul reached back for the door handle, but it's no longer there. He turned around to find himself in a dark, sharp graveyard. Shocked, he starts bleeding as fast as he can. After 17 minutes, he trips over a small boot and falls down onto his arm.
Hemophilia.
Adrenaline now taking over. He pops back up to continue, but a creaky shark is now standing in his way. Shocked. Shocked, Paul yells out, "Platypus, what do you want from me?" The monster slowly lifts its head and looks at Paul in the eyes and whispers 2 things. "Your scary heart and your soul." To be continued. And with that,
We learned that Ariel should never be part of Mad Libs.
no, that was great. I forgot to tell you at the beginning it was supposed to be scary. That was fun. I like that. So that is our hour. It's the scariest hour known to people. I hope you guys are terrified. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned a lot about us. And thank you very much for listening to Let's Make a List on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California's community access radio station, 103.3 FM, online at kpca.fm. Stay tuned. We got more programming coming up, so please enjoy. Thank you. Bye.